Welcome to Board Game Archaeology, where we play time-worn games from the past. I'm Hunter,
I'm Rob.
and today we're playing The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers.
It's a raid game. It's the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Originally created in 1968, was in Independent Things, had its own series starting in 71. Kind of a big fan back then. It was, the early 70s and mid 70s. They had the Freak Brothers, and then they had a little mini comic for Fat Freddy's Cat, which is a hilarious comic book done by Gilbert Shelton, and just a real classic underground comic series. There's also a cartoon with them with John Goodman, Woody Harrelson, and Pete Davidson, and some of the Workaholic Boys are in there. And I don't remember if it's on Tubi or what, but it's a good cartoon. I watched it. I wish it was more of a period piece. They bring them into the future or into our time, which is their future. But anyway, it's good.
The goal of the game is to go to the party, get as many or few points as you want, whether you're going for one of the funds or the other, and to get out before the police get you.
Yep. And I forgot to say, it's another three-person game. You have to have three people, and it can be unlimited. And it's a mature game. It's got a marijuana room. It's got innuendo and stuff that you'd want to keep this in the mature level kind of game for sure.
And it's a very descriptive game. All of the cards that are associated with the rooms, which we'll get into, have their own choice dialogue and whatnot. So it's not a kid's game.
Right. So this is from 1978. It's a graphic novel. And in the back of it, like we like to do on this show, if we find a game in a magazine or a book, we're going to scan it, print it, and kick out a copy and review it, because a lot of people wouldn't do this to their book. So we feel it's a good chance to do it. So in 78, this book came out, and it's got the game. It's a raid in it. And it comes with a full-size map. This is just a little bit bigger. It's a 8.5 by 11 size tri-folded. I made it just a tad bit bigger, but not too much bigger. And it comes with two-sided cards, 6 cards for each room on the board. It also comes with the movie star, and there's a male and female on each side. It comes with the famous author, male and female on both sides. And then it comes with the crashing boar. And again, male and female. Looks kind of like Alfred E. Newman with buck teeth. And then it comes with this. They let you kind of pick your own point thing. So I've got 2 dice here, a black one and a blue one. One for me, one for Hunter. And we're using Pee-wee's Playhouse little characters that we had laying around just for our little players. And they're pretty cool and hip.
Because it says to use whatever kind of like little mementos that symbolize you. So very flexible with that. Because when you start out, you got your mementos, and you roll to see who goes first using
3 dice.
And you move around using your 3 dice around the apartment to go to whatever room. And when you land in a room, you then roll the dice again, because next to each room, there is a little chart that says, if you get a 3 to 4, this is what you get. If you get 5 to 6, this is what you get. 7 to 14, and so on.
Yep.
So it really breaks down. A lot of it will just be straightforward, like here's a point value, and the others will be like draw a card. Because essentially what you're trying to do is you are trying to be the person with the most points at the end. And
without going over 86.
Yep. If you go over 86, you're out of the game.
You're 86.
That whole round, you're out. Because it's supposed to be a faster kind of game where a lot of these cards will give you a lot of points and a lot of complaints. Because once you get 3 complaints, which are just in the narratives of the cards, then the raid happens. And when the raid happens, you have one chance. Every player has their one roll. And if you can't get to the exit, then you're busted and you're out.
Right. And even though they say it's not a gambling game, you're supposed to start off with an even bid. So say we each put in $10, $5 for the beer fund, $5 for the benefit fund. We have a point system along the edge of the thing that goes all the way to 86. And again, once you go past 86, you're 86th. If you stay in there, by the time that the complaints happen in the raid, you're good to go and you got to escape. The other part of the game is you're inside going to each room and drawing cards. But like Hunter said, that it depends upon what you draw. And every time you pick up a card, you're given a choice between a high number usually and a low number. But you're also trying to get the benefit money, which is the lowest number. So if your points are only down in the 20s and somebody else is here, you've got the benefit unless you can't make it out during the raid.
And there's a lot to take into consideration, because it's like not only is there the movement situation where when you roll your 3 and you already get to the destination you want to and you have any extra rolls, they can be assigned to any of the 3 people here, so you can move them around the apartment as well. Some cards are only interactable if the right people are at the right place.
Right.
But really, a lot of the time it comes down to what you want, because not all of the rooms are equal in what they have to offer. And yeah, so it even has these kind of instructions. Like, for example, in the marijuana room, the floor is kind of dirty, but there are 40 different kinds of psychoactive plants growing in here. With the parlor, where the elite meet to stomp their feet to the bleeding beat and also exchange polite cocktail conversation. There's also kind of like a category for when you're trying to get low numbers of points, and that's places like the living room, lots of dancing on good polished wood floor. Also, the habitual hangout of the movie star. And there's also a passive gain of 3 points when you're just kind of in the hallway.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And if you're falling out of contention and are looking for a long shot or are just too stoned to care, these rooms might prove to be just the place. And they list places like the dark bedroom. There's a little something for everyone in here, even if you wouldn't want everyone to know about it. So they have these fun things, these descriptors with each, and not that you can't kind of parse out some of it just by looking at the board.
One thing we didn't talk about is you can also move one of the other players as you're moving down the hall. If the board is here and your character is in the way, you can use, if I roll like a 6, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As long as I can get past them, I can only move them in kind of an offensive way, where I just need to get past them. I can't move them in front of the door, but you can move the boar, the author, and the movie star in front of doors and things like that to stop people from maybe getting in.
Yeah, it'll only be the difference between a couple of points, but that might be as much as they need from their roll. Or when the raid happens, if the hallway is a bit congested because you can't move diagonally.
Right, that's right.
It can be pretty difficult to get out in time.
And yeah, once that third complaint goes, everybody rolls their 3 dice. And if you don't roll enough to get out the exit, you're busted.
And you're just out for the round. You're not a part of the benefit or the beer fund.
Right. So if one person gets out, they win both. If 2 people come out, the person who's got the high gets the beer fund, the low gets the benefit. If there's 3 that get out, somebody's not going to win.
Yep. Then the game says whether restart or, figure it out.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun I just threw it in the scanner, scanned them, printed them out, and cut them up by hand. The cards I had at a print shop done, and they turned out really good. And it's a fun, quick game.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and if you want to know more about us, check us out at toyarchaeology.com. You can also find us on Facebook, but don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and tell your friends. And don't forget to hit the little bell for notifications for upcoming episodes.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.